Welcome back to the Send 938 Missions Podcast, a ministry of Baptist Mid-Missions designed to encourage, equip, and inspire the next generation of missionary servants. I'm your host, Steve Anderson, Administrator for Church Engagement and Communications here with Baptist Mid-Missions today in the Global Ministry Center on a beautiful sunny day, which today I might actually be able to show you, which I've never been able to do before, because today, for the very first time, the podcast is coming to you from a brand new studio here in the Global Ministry Center. Welcome to the studio. And welcome to Dave Ferguson. Dave's joining us. Dave is the administrator. Actually, you're vice president.
I am.
I should address you in your official office.
No worry.
Vice president for missionary services and leading our missionary services department. So you oversee the guys that are responsible on the daily for the care and service of our missionaries in the various regions around the world, missionary finance. But another particular interest of yours is what we're here to talk about today, and that is Playball.
Playball ministry. And yep, you got me here for that, so that's what I'm glad to talk to you about.
Dave, give us a little bit of a background. You've been on the podcast before. Mm-hmm. It's been audio only, and so folks now have an opportunity to put a face with a voice. Maybe they recognize you, seeing you, but for those watching who don't know you, give us a little bit of background for you and Jeannie, your family, and your life with Baptist.
Yeah, and it's very true. You can show them a blue sky day here in Cleveland because you've got audio and visual today, but also because there's a blue sky sunny day here in Cleveland today.
It's a rare sight.
One of the few all year, so that works great. Yeah, Jeannie and I have been privileged to serve with Baptist Mission since 1987. For Jeannie, it goes back further than that because she's an MK, so she's grown up with Baptist Missions. The Lord's blessed us with 6 children and now 13 grandchildren, kind of scattered around the globe now in various areas of service, working, ministry, and military. But we're thrilled to be part of Baptist Missions and even more thrilled to talk about Playball today.
Yeah. So Playball is, in my estimate, as somebody who sits in on the meetings here in the building, and I hear the updates about what's going on. I'm watching the applications come through our staff meeting for guys that are ready and willing to head to the DR and help with a baseball ministry. Mm-hmm. And we'll get a better description of that in a minute. Every time I hear about it, there's something exciting and I would say somewhat thrilling that accompanies the news. So what is Playball, first off? Let's start there. What is it? What's it intended to do? What's going on when we talk about Playball? And we'll get into some of the history and particulars of that in a minute.
Sure. Well, by mission, Playball exists to evangelize communities through quality baseball instruction. What that means is we're taking the game of baseball and how to play it, instruction, to a group we call the Boys of Baseball in the Dominican Republic, where there's a great passion for the game. But we're blending and accompanying that with clear testimony of the gospel. So not a hook, as some would sometimes ask, but a both and. Instruction about the game they love and instruction about the Lord Jesus at the same time. Yeah. And it's a perfect combination there, and we love it.
Not a bait and switch.
No. We're giving them their game, and it's a wonderful time on the field. Yeah,
for those that know baseball, you know when you hear the DR, you hear Dominican Republic,
that's right.
you think of some major players in baseball. I'm not a baseball fan, but even I know that's where big name players come from.
And if you're there, you see why. For me, the first time was when I actually visited with my in-laws, just married, now over about 40 years ago. Jeannie and I, she grew up there, and we wanted to visit with her parents. They wanted to show me everything, their churches, the sights, the sounds, the smells, and there's a lot of sights, there's a lot of smells. But I kept seeing baseball. Everywhere I looked, I saw boys playing on the fields, whether they were baseball fields or rural fields, streets, behind buildings. Everywhere I looked, there was a game of baseball. At the time, Jeannie says she remembers me saying, this is 1985, 86, if we played baseball with them, they'd let me tell them about Jesus. I don't remember saying it. Sounds like something I'd say. She does. Yeah. And it was about 20 years before we would be back in country. But at that time, I was tasked with helping to generate evangelistic opportunities. And in my heart had been, is there some way to harness the passion for the game here with gospel opportunity? spoke with a group of pastors who said, yeah, there is, let's do something. I'm very grateful they didn't ask, what are we going to do? How are we going to do it? Just, yeah, we can do something. And that was 2006. We started generating ideas, and our first go at it was the summer of 2007. Took 10 guys down, the right 10 guys, very flexible. But the Lord had laid on our hearts through talking with pastors there that the approach that we might take would be baseball instruction. Turned out to be the right approach. Through no fault of our own, we hit it right.
So is this like if you could imagine like a baseball camp kind of thing? Guys are coming every day. Kids are coming every day.
Yep.
I've heard you say they come with, some of them come with their coaches. So our whole team's coming to participate in this?
This would be, first and foremost, we're working with churches that were once started by Baptist missions missionaries or churches related to Baptist missions, now under national leadership, and we're coming alongside with them to do outreach in their communities. So they spread the word, and they will recruit, coaches to bring their boys. Mm-hmm. And so they'll come in groups, and that meant we had to have a quality level of baseball instruction.
Yeah.
Coaches watch it. They like what we're teaching. That makes them want to bring their boys.
Yeah. So you mentioned already that the goal is to evangelize communities through quality baseball instruction. Mm-hmm. And I think for some people, there might be a little bit of a, is that really what's happening? Are we just sending people down? This is the kind of popular antagonistic view of mm-hmm. missions trips. We're sending the kids on the summer vacation and calling it a missions trip. What does the daily routine look like? And what is the travel schedule? I know you're in various locations. You're actually in multiple locations around the country. So what does it look like in terms of the rigor of the week, and how involved is this in both the planning and execution? And maybe in answer to that, you could demonstrate where this is headed with the next generation of leadership that's coming in.
Sure. So for a Playball guy, and that would be someone that we define as someone who loves the Lord, loves souls, and loves the game. And they can explain why they love the Lord. We know why. We know why we love souls. We can't necessarily explain why we love this game, but we do, and that's good enough for us. Often call them the Playball knuckleheads, but it's a bunch of guys that have just met guys just like themselves. When they come, they'll be assigned to a particular location. So this year, 30 guys, and we're in 3 locations, so we'll have 3 groups of 10. They'll come down on a Friday. On Saturday, we'll do orientation together, and they'll travel then to their host site, which will be the location of one of the churches or multiple churches that sponsor Playball and use it as outreach.
How far away are those locations from each other?
The 2 distant ones would be about 3.5 hours apart.
Okay.
And then one in the middle would be about 45 minutes from one and a couple hours from the other. When the guys come, they're there Saturday. That's the only day they're with the whole group, and they're out to their location. With their group, there's a manager. They've each already got an assignment. They'll be either an instructor or an assistant instructor in a specific baseball instruction, what we call station, or they'll be what we call a gospel station leader, someone who's equipped to share the gospel clearly and effectively with boys. That Sunday, they'll be worshiping with the church they're going to be serving with all. It's a great day. They hardly know anybody if they're new. If they've come before, they're seeing faces that they recognize, and it's kind of a great reunion. But then the Playball week is Monday through Friday, and there'll be a clinic in the morning from 9 till noon. There'll be another one in the afternoon from about 3 to 6 or 3:30 to 6:30. 2 different groups of boys. So the heat's coming on by the end of the morning, and then after it breaks in the afternoon, we go at it again. So 6 hours on the field. And they'll meet a group of boys that come, the teams. There could be anywhere from 75 to 130 boys. Those boys will be divided into 6 groups, and there'll be 6 groups that they can go to, 6 stations. 5 of them are baseball instruction.
Are we talking like first base?
No, we're talking throwing, batting, base running, infield, and outfield.
Okay.
Then the sixth station is called the gospel station. So their group, when they're divided...
Tell me that's in the dugout.
It's in the dugout, or it'll be someplace in the shade where they're not looking at the ball field, where their eyes are on the instructor and not on what's going on the field. But they're all sent out to these 6 areas, and they'll receive instruction and practice for about 30 minutes, and they rotate every 30 minutes. So in 3 hours, they get to each station, and they get that very quickly. They know, I'll get to base running, I'll get to hitting, I'll get to the gospel station. And then we've built, through the help of a professional ball player, Brent Castile, who helped us put together a curriculum. The instruction is like a curriculum. At each location, the same stuff is being taught each day, and it builds Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So as they come, they're getting very good baseball, but what they understand is, from all the coaches, the most important station is the gospel station, where they're learning about the Lord Jesus. And they do. They're getting the gospel presented to them each day, clearly and with power.
You said a minute ago 75 to 130 kids in a session, morning or evening.
Yep.
How many young guys are participating on an annual basis? You got 3 stations, 2 clinics a day, 5 days a week.
Yep. Last year we had 750 boys participate in the week, and all you got to do is do the math. As we can add sites, it's about 250 boys per site. If we can add, next year we hope to add a new site. That would be 250 more boys. But we say we're evangelizing communities because this is a very relational culture. Yeah, and so when we have 130 boys, then that means we're also reaching coaches, we're reaching parents, we're reaching siblings and friends, because they're all connected. They're all there.
And I've heard some of this in the past from you, but tell me a little bit about the evidence of that community evangelism. So give us one or two, if you want to call them young stories. This is what we purpose to do, and this is what we're seeing done. And maybe connect that to some of the guys that I know maybe came through as a young guy and are now participating as leaders in their churches.
Well, one of the things that we're committed to, we use the words effective, sustainable, and reproducible in our approach. Effective because we want to get the job done, but sustainable, we want to be able to return each year to the same community, so that if a boy's in Playball one year, it's coming back the next year. He can be looking forward to it. And to realize that the spiritual influence will happen over time. And this is with the coaches. So it really has become part of the church life and part of the neighborhood life. When I walk through some of the communities, I'll hear people just calling out, Playball, Melo, Hola David. But we have, in one of our areas, a young man who often translates for our preachers there. He's completed graduate level study now in biblical studies. He's trained as an engineer. He's a leader at the church, young man. He was at day one of Playball as an unsaved boy. And day one, session one, very chaotic day from our perspective. He reflects on it though and says, "No, that was a fun day. We couldn't wait to come back the next day." And in time, he came to Christ, and when he came to Christ, he knew which church he should be part of, and it's just been kind of steady growth. Yeah. That's been wonderful to watch. At another location, our gospel station leader is one of the coaches, Coach Beltre, and he brought his boys to play ball to learn baseball. He wanted them to get better baseball instruction, so they came. And as is the case with many of the coaches, by bringing their boys, they come under gospel influence. The gospel station is part of it. Everyone understands that the gospel is part of play ball. And the Lord began working in his heart in another area. A believer he knew was encouraging him and telling him he should go to church. He said, "Well, take me to your church." And when they did, he found out it was the play ball church. And he walked in and saw the pastor he'd seen on the ball field all week. He came to Christ not long after. He's baptized. He's been steadily growing. I came back one year for follow-up, and the pastor said to me, "You're never going to guess who you're going to see on outreach ministry today," and going visiting. And there was Coach Beltre. And so then in time, he became part of their vacation Bible school. They saw him great at sharing the gospel. and he's the gospel station leader now. So one of our gospel station leaders is a coach who brought us. We just love that.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. We've watched the gospel spread through families. We had a little boy come. He's no longer a little boy. He's a doctor today. But his sister came to Christ, and then his mom. And then I remember the church service when his dad was there. His dad didn't come at first because he had a little store, but he started coming Sunday nights. And I remember the night that at the conclusion of the evening service, his dad surrendered his heart to Christ. And a couple of years ago, his dad went to be with the Lord, massive heart attack. But we all realized, wow, we watched the gospel spread through the family, and he's in heaven today because of the gospel.
Evangelizing communities through
quality-based instruction.
Quality-based instruction.
Through a simple ball like this.
Not just a slogan.
Nope.
It's an evidence-backed
It's wonderful to see.
directive. You've mentioned a couple of times the churches, and you've already indicated that these churches are the product of Baptist Missions' previous ministries. Can you give us a little snapshot? You mentioned Jeannie's parents served there. She grew up there. Give us a little snapshot of kind of where BMM has been involved in the DR and how that has developed. And then, again, connect that maybe to where this is going with Ryan.
Yeah. The missionaries of Baptist Missions entered the Dominican Republic in the early 50s and then steadily came along. The team grew. Great group of faithful missionaries and church planters and developers in education and national leadership. And then it was during the 90s somewhat that in different ways the different missionaries either retired or went to other fields or for various reasons stepped away from the field. Some of the nationals kind of thought they were abandoned. They hadn't been. But what the Lord was doing was allowing them to take the leadership, and they did in a great way. And so we have seen churches that have been under national leadership for some time. The Lord kind of reestablished contact 2006. And
when Playball started.
Yeah, not long after. We asked them, what's our role now? The two areas we saw were leadership training, education, and outreach. And the Lord has used very faithful Baptist missionaries like Jeremy Waugh and James Peavy and their families to start a Bible Institute now that's giving excellent training. Heidi Van Dyke, who's been there, is working on her doctorate to be part of that. They were all working on doctorates. And a great seminary is growing there. And then in the area of outreach, we talked about the idea, well, could we use baseball? And the Lord seems to have used that. We're really glad. But these churches and these pastors, when I say we're working with the churches, so we'll take 30 guys in this summer. There'll easily be 5 Dominicans for every American participating somehow in Playball. There'll be some Dominican instructors. They take care of our hospitality, our housing, ladies that cook the meals, transportation. There are so many jobs, but easily 5 Dominicans for every American. It's a delightful partnership of churches and the guys.
Yeah. And what's the next step for Playball?
Well, we do have a transition plan underway. My gray hair is pretty obvious. And the Lord kind of laid on our heart that a transition plan doesn't guarantee that a ministry will continue. But the lack of a transition plan pretty much guarantees that it won't.
Right.
So we've been praying about transition. We've been praying about reproduction and growth. And we were right there back in 2020. We were ready to move into new areas when the pandemic hit. And it set us back a good distance. It was like starting all over again, 2021, 2022. But the Lord's brought us to that place where we are ready. And there are other churches in the Dominican Republic and other places, but there are churches that want Playball. And our recruitment is growing again, that we believe we can sustain what we have, and Lord willing, next summer enter at least one new area, maybe 2. And you've heard the numbers. We add a number, that's like adding 250 boys.
Yeah.
We believe we can do that. So that's exciting. And then the Lord has been working in the heart of a great man of God, David King, who has been
called
part.
Him Ryan a
you
minute
called
ago.
him Ryan. We know Ryan King.
Ryan King is a Canadian.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Ryan King should come to play ball as well.
Hey, Ryan, if you're listening, and I know you might be, hit Dave up next year. Applications are closed for this year for everyone who's interested. You're all scrambling, I know, to go to bmm.org and sign up. You can do that for next year. This year's are closed,
But David came to play ball several years ago. He already had a heart for sports ministry. He's already involved in many ways. But he came, he's been a great instructor, and he's come over the years. And the Lord's been working on his heart. We've watched it. And as we've identified different aspects of leadership transition, David affirmed that the Lord was laying on his heart that sports ministry, the Lord was really calling him to such a ministry. And he is experienced in play ball. He will bring excellent leadership. But his vision for the platform that sports instruction is for the cause of evangelism and missions is a powerful vision.
beyond baseball.
Beyond baseball. It's the sporting world and bringing instruction. And globally, we often say have ball, have ministry, but you got to have the right ball. Mm-hmm. And in the Dominican Republic, that's the right ball.
Right.
In other places, it's other basketball, volleyball, football, soccer, or the puck. We often say have the right ball or the puck. That would be exciting as well. But David has that vision, and I believe he's going to carry this thing beyond the Dominican Republic. And we see other nations. Baseball isn't super popular everywhere. Where it is, it's passionate.
Yeah.
And there are countries, Venezuela, Cuba, even some of the Asian countries that we believe the Lord could use it. So our prayer is that God will take this vision and really expand it.
Yeah, that's great. What are the dates for this year's play ball so folks can be praying?
Yeah, please do. June 26th, the guys will come down. That's the Friday. They'll come home July 6th. We're always there, or almost always there, over the 4th of July, and it's wonderful. The Dominicans have a respect for the United States of America. They have a respect for guys who come on their country's birthday, and they always make it special for us. But those are the dates, June 26th to July 6th. Registration, is closed this year, but it's going to be open soon by October for next year for anyone listening.
Yeah, that's great. Dave, what can we be doing to be praying for you, or if there's someone watching or listening who might be interested in somehow supporting the work, they themselves couldn't go? Do the guys that are going have to raise any support or funds? Is there a way that they can give to help advance this work? Yep.
The guys pay their expenses, which is their travel and a ministry fee in country to care for their meals and their hospitality. People often give towards that. Our scholarship fund, if they send to Baptist Missions Play Ball and say scholarship, we'll apply it to guys where it's needed or across the board to help everybody. There's one donor in particular who's has had a heart for the young men who come. Our youngest age is 16, but they want to help any 16, 17, 18, 19-year-olds who come. We're glad for that. Sometimes people send gifts for baseballs. Sounds simple, but we buy a lot of baseballs. We give the baseballs at the end of the week to those coaches, and that helps them. So every year we're starting fresh. And VBS Ministries have used their gifts for baseballs. People send that in. Or someone could just support it as needed most. We can put it to use. Playball.
bmm.org and Playball in the give section. You can search for it. It's got its own project account. If you want to give online, you can do that.
Pray for the effective impact of the gospel in lives. This is an evangelism ministry. This is sowing the seed. This is when the Lord says the sower sows the seed where he goes, and we've seen all kinds of soils. We've seen all four. But our prayer is for fruit that will remain, and that right now, many of our assistants down there are young men who came up through Play Ball and came to Christ through Play Ball. Very satisfying. But be praying that in those boys that are there right now, I wish I could have them all here, show them to you. Passion for the game. They're going to be playing. They love. A Play Ball day is a great day for everybody. But that the Lord would use it, that in the future these would be baseball instructors, pastors, dads that are faithful, walking with the Lord. They're just to pray for these young lives and come under the influence of the gospel.
Yeah. Well, Dave, it's been good having you back in the studio, this time where everyone can see what's going on.
Wow, the first one.
Guest number 1 in the books on the new studio. If you're not already subscribed, make sure you subscribe to the channel below. Leave us a comment or share this with a friend. If you got somebody that's interested in baseball, somebody you know would be interested, or maybe even somebody who you know has participated in Playball in the past, make sure to share this episode with them. And as always, you can send us an email with any notes, comments, questions about this or any other episode of the Send 938 Missions Podcast at send938@bmm.org. And as always, we'll meet you back here next week.